Hey folks, welcome back to Growing Pains Avoidance Tips for Small Businesses. This is Arborea Technical Solutions, and I am Kristen McDonald. And this one is going to talk about websites and social media. A lot of the companies that come on board with us in the 10 to 15 employee range, they have a lot of the same questions and issues. And this series is designed to help alleviate those pains and potentially help make people give people more information to make the best decisions earlier in their business venture. So this one, like I said, we're talking about websites first. And a lot of people ask, what web builder tools should I use? And there are a lot of reasons to choose each and every individual tool, but I'm going to do some very high level stuff. And this is really to help you make the decision so that when you get to the point where you're going to hand it off to a professional to perform all of your website needs, that you don't have to go back and recreate the wheel. You're already in a solution that a professional would use for that particular situation. So in the service industry, we're talking about solutions like WordPress, sometimes Wix, and then you have options for other providers like GoDaddy. Most professionals probably aren't going to keep your GoDaddy site. It's very limited. There's not much control. There's so little that they can do with that site in terms of unique and interesting content that they're probably going to ask. Most professionals are going to use WordPress for that, but also Wix. I see out there professionals do use Wix systems. So, and I'm going to kind of walk through the systems so you can see the difference in kind of the top ones of each category. Then we get to retail, right? And there are some sites that are really designed. All of these sites can do a retail shop. So don't get me wrong, you can create a online retail shop with WordPress, with Wix, with GoDaddy. Squarespace and Shopify are specifically designed for that use case and scenario. So they're really good for that. I typically, if somebody had used Squarespace to create a service-based or an informational only website that didn't have a store, I might actually recommend that they convert it to the proper tool for the job, right? And then there are some others that are very situational. If you need a HIPAA compliant website, dear Lord, I'm hoping you probably have a professional for that. So I'm going to skip over that a little bit, but there are others like Cvent, for example, is used very, very widespread for events. So if you're doing a conference and you want to track attendees and make schedules and things like that, really good for that. All right, so I'm going to go through some of the websites that I manage. This one is built specifically in WordPress, and you can see as I build it out how much control I have over each little segment in terms of the way it displays, in terms of what it does. But it's still a drag and drop type of a product. So WordPress, it does not require coding skills at in the base. You can use HTML and do custom coding, but it's not required. So all of the controls that you see here, this is why a lot of professionals choose this system. It's also why a lot of non-professionals shy away from it. There's just so many settings, but there are templates out there. And they're reasonably priced that you can also start with as a newbie to website design. So say you are the business owner and you want to just stand up a website really quick, there are templates available. And then when you're ready for a professional, they can come in and adjust and make that just brilliant as you grow. Okay. So that is your WordPress options and kind of what it feels like. Now I'm going to talk about Wix. Now Wix is it's a little less dynamic. You can see it's almost like working in Paint or Photoshop. You've got different elements and they're just, they're pasted there. And they move around. And that means that it's less responsive. So when you switch back and forth to mobile and desktop, you have to kind of move things around and make sure that they're where you expect them to be, which is it has its pros and cons, right? This one's a little bit easier to use than WordPress. It has less features, less settings. But again, that's why, again, if you want the control and you want specifics as a website professional, you're probably going to want more control, more features. But it's still very, very adequate. And you can see there's templates and others things to start with. As a newbie, you don't have to start from scratch. And now I'm going to go into a Squarespace website. And this one is, this is a breeze to set up. You just click a few buttons, tell it what you want the website to do. And it will give you a starting point. And it's pretty easy to modify each individual section to get it exactly how you want it. There's not as much control as you have in WordPress or Wix. So, it's a balance. But if you need a shop, this is a great tool for you. It's easy to adjust. It's easy to add items to the shop. And you can see it's very user friendly. So a lot of folks that don't have professional experience and have a shop, this is probably the right tool for you. Now, lots of people ask me, somebody told me I need custom HTML to be professional. This IT professional told me a few years ago that people can tell that it's not custom, that it's not made from scratch, that it's not unique. I'm here to tell you, and I might have some techies coming at me for this, but other than us techies, nobody else can tell. So you're going to spend a lot of resources to create a custom HTML website. There is a time and place. If you're building an application, yeah, absolutely. This is a custom application that people are going to take actions in and move data around or any of that. Yeah, you're going to need some developers. You're going to need custom development. Otherwise, though, if you're displaying information or it's just a very standard internet sales type of a website, I would say your out-of-the-box web builders are probably the best choice for you. The maintenance costs are significantly lower, and you're going to have less issues that have to be dealt with. It just, it's all about how much staff and how much time, energy, and money you're willing to spend. In most cases, custom HTML is not necessary. Here comes one that's dear to my heart here, and it's something that actually I need to adjust on my website. I know I have to do it. Stock photos, people do notice that. People notice it all the time, and they'll say, wait, I used that image in my site. I recognize it. And there's a couple of images on my site that I have seen on other people's sites, and it really drives me bonkers. I have a great professional photographer that I use for my headshots. And in a couple of months, she's also going to be doing some shots for me for the website. MJL Studios out of Leesburg, Virginia. So hit her up. She makes you feel real badass. So I can't recommend her more. But my website has them. I know people can tell, and it bothers me, and I need to get a hold of that. And I anybody that can or has the time and energy, I highly recommend not using stock photos and getting some professional photography done. Lots of people ask me about domains. Where should I host my domain? Most domain providers are fairly similar. Okay, so you're going to be just fine, whether it's GoDaddy, DreamHost, Namecheap, Ionis, Wix, all of them. They're very similar. You want to remember two things. You want to not use their mail systems. Your IT department is going to have you migrate to Microsoft or straight from Google Workspace. So don't use their mail. However, every one of the leading providers for domains is pretty similar. Get yourself a good price. And also, the second thing is to make sure that if your IT department is not, or your IT provider, whoever's handling your IT, is not the same as the person handling your website, they need to share access. So, however it's done, you need to ask your web developer, did you set up the domain in a way that it can be shared with an IT provider down the road? Next one, social media, and I'm working on this too. So don't let me make like I'm a social media super pro, right? But I can tell you what has been working for me and what I've seen as advice from others across the web, and that is unique content like what we're doing right here is what's effective. The algorithms can tell if it's AI generated. They can tell if it's been created by another company. I was using a service to provide my content for a while, and I noticed that none of it was getting seen at all. The algorithm just wasn't presenting it. But if I did something custom that had me in it, or advice, useful information, it gets seen. The algorithm will show it to other people. So keep that in mind. And, as I mentioned, AI, it can tell, when it's a computer and when it's a person. Also, people can tell. So they'll become more interactive with your content. If it's human created. Be yourself. Me personally, I love to share knowledge. I love to share information and learn from other people, which is why these types of webinars really are. They're effective because it's who I am. If that's not you and you're someone that does humor really well, that's your thing, and do that. Just because somebody was successful doing, lunch and learns or tutorials like this doesn't mean it's right for you. Tag people. I've always seen that any post that you tag somebody in because you think it's appropriate for them or that they were in the photo or video, it gets more viewership, not just the person you tagged, but the algorithm will share it to more people. Every platform is different. Some of them will want you to use their video software instead of editing custom. So keep that in mind. And those are my kind of 5 major tips for social media that I've found so far. As I learn more, I will share more. As always, you can reach us. My email, Chris@Arboria.ts. There are links to schedule a session with me. I love, love, love to chat with people and about technology and share information. There's a link on our website, arboriasolutions.com, to schedule time with me. And I take phone calls and texts. So if you have any questions or you have some tech issues that you need help with, reach out, and we'd love to be of help.